solutions that would be preferred, even from you listening on. So, reactions have continued to trail the petrol price increase as it affects everyone across the country. Talk about transportation cost. Former Minister of Transportation, Amechi, recently, over the weekend, lamented the economic hardship. He even went as far as calling all Nigerians to protest, saying that even high profile Nigerians are affected by the recent petrol increase again by the NNPC. Now, poultry farmers over the weekend have disclosed that the price of a crate of egg may even get up to 10,000 naira from 5,000 naira that some Nigerians are still grappling with. And they are blaming this on the high transportation cost and, of course, the recent petrol price as well. So it's all interwoven. We're talking about looming hunger. Now, the presidential candidate of the Labour Party in the 2023 general election, Peter Obi, also described the recent hike in the price of petrol products as unfortunate and insensitive. Of course, the Nigeria Labour Congress, who will be having the Lagos chairperson on the program shortly, Joe Ajaero, who's the president, condemned the fuel pump price increase, noting that a registered private company should not even dictate the fuel price for Nigerians. And of course, Ipman threatened as at Friday to shut down operations nationwide, saying that the NNPC is selling to Ipman, to its members, at an unreasonable price. So at this point, we're going to have Agnes talk to us. So welcome to the program. Meanwhile, if you're listening, you can call the studio line on 0805 092 0927. Hello, Agnes. Good to have you.
Yeah, good morning.
Welcome to Spotlights. It's so good to have you this morning. How's the morning going for you?
Yeah, thank you very.
All right. So now we all know what's happening in the country. I've listed some of the reactions, including crates of egg going as far up to 10,000 naira. We have a lot of people resigning from their jobs across the geopolitical zones in the country. This is not even just affecting, Lagosians, but everyone. But now, recently, the NLC president, Joe Ajaero, has condemned the fuel price hike. And speaking on behalf of the NNPC, he's saying that, NLC, I beg your pardon, you guys are asking for immediate reversal of the petrol price hike. So what are the primary concerns of the NLC as regards the petrol price hike?
Can I hear it very well again?
Okay, did you hear me? I said, what are the concerns? What are the primary concerns with Labour concerning the price hike of fuel?
Oh, okay. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Thank you. I want to start on a note of greeting all Nigerians and also at the same time with mixed feeling, sharing our displeasure, our pain against the sitting government now, because we took the president by his word when the leadership of the Labour went to wrap the negotiation on the minimum wage, where the president promised them that if they accept the figure of 70,000 naira, he will not increase the price of the fuel. And it was on that basis the Labour, backed down on their request of 251,000 naira, and they accepted the 70,000 because they know that if there is any increase in the pump price, it will have a trickling effect on the goods and services, on everything around us, and that will exacerbate the already chaotic situation. So it was on that premise they agreed that, okay, Mr. President, we are taking you by your words. If you are not increasing the price of the fuel, we take the 70,000 naira. And that was how the minimum wage was concluded. But to our dismay and disappointment, not even every state that has started the payment of 70,000 naira. Only about 2 states have commenced.
Yeah, I was going to ask you the stand of the Lagos state government as regards the minimum wage, because over the weekend, I think the Ondo state, the 70,000.
Well, the Lagos state government, they are very positive and they are, discussing with us. the government has already told us that they are open to implementing whatever comes from the federal government.
Mm.
And they, on their own in-house now, I
Mm.
want every worker who are listening to hear this, because there has been apprehension, and it was the federal government that delayed
Mm.
on this minimum wage. And after the consequential adjustment table came out, that is what every government will now work with.
Mm.
So the in-house with the government, they are also looking at the table and also bringing up a scenario. We have told our government that in Lagos State, Lagos has a special status. You cannot equate Lagos with any other state.
Why?
It's a
Why so?
city, and it's the most populous city and most well-recognized city in Africa.
Mm.
So for accommodation, transportation, feeding,
Mm.
we have what we call Lagos factor. So they're also working on it. And then we were told last week that in a
Okay.
couple of days we are going to be
We'll see
invited to the
results.
table.
But
So
now, Joe Ajaero has established that 70,000 is even still not enough. Going by the current price of transport, are the Lagos workers now fine with the 70,000 naira? Going by what you're saying, the minimum wage, even if it is
well, I
approved.
just said it now that even the 70,000 naira
Mm.
before the increase of the fuel pump price, we are not open to collecting 70,000 naira, because our own life in Lagos State is a city life. So if anybody in Oyo State, in Ebonyi, in Abia, Nasarawa, Adamawa, Zamfara, if they collect 70,000, our own, that is what they call Lagos factor. Lagos factor should be there,
Mm.
because three-bedroom flats even in Ogun State to Lagos State, you will see the very long and wide difference
Mm.
in what you are going to pay.
Okay.
Transportation in Lagos is different
Yeah.
from what you are going to pay in other states.
Yeah.
Also, feeding is different
Okay. So how does
from
the
Lagos to
NLC?
any other state, and that is why our governor understand.
Mm.
And from time immemorial, he doesn't pay, even when others were collecting 35,000 naira. The governor, in his own wisdom and with the situation of Lagos, he increased it to 42,000. He first started with 35.
Mm.
When the economy started, we started having inflation, he increased it to 42.
Mm.
And when the palliative wage came in, 35,000, he never stopped paying it. Federal government even stopped. Some states even were not paying
Okay.
35,
But
but the
now,
governor was paying 35.
but
And that was why the commissioner for information then came out to state that Lagos is paying above 70. Yes, we know Lagos was paying, but the 35,000 wage award was not one of the instruments of our salary. It was just a wage award. The 70,000 naira as a minimum wage, we have its effect on all the allowances. And that
mm.
was why we cautioned the commissioner for information that time, that
Mm.
he should not come out to come and give a wrong information or misconstrue
Okay.
the instruments of
So,
our salaries. So
mm.
the 35,000 wage award, yes, if added, it will be like 72 or 77,000. But it is not part of the instrument of the salaries. So we are going on the
Okay.
70,000 minimum wage,
Yeah.
but with Lagos factor that will
Okay.
be added to it.
Now, so how does, given that, we've established it that, crates of eggs, so many food and transport costs has gone up way beyond what the NLC initially
Can
accepted.
I hear you clearly?
Can you hear me, Agnes? Are you with me?
Okay.
Yes. So
Yeah.
now, how does the NLC plan to renegotiate with the government at this point now?
At this time, I know it's going to be very difficult to say we are renegotiating. But what NSC we want to ensure is that the price of the pump price should be reversed. NNPCL, being an agency of government, should not poise itself to be a judge in his own case. They cannot be the regulator, and yet they will be the one that will also be fixing the prices of this pump price. After all, they said they have deregulated the downstream.
Mm.
And not only that, since we have removed the subsidy, And we now have marketers, we have people who are now doing this as their own businesses. Why are you now regulating again? So if NNPCL is now the one that is fixing the prices, we don't understand how NNPCL comes in to come and be regulating these prices. And for us, we have ever been telling the Nigerian government, successive government, not this one, not this administration, the previous administration, who have ever, always, every year, budgeted trillions of naira in dollars to revamping our 4 refineries that we have in Nigeria. Will it not be a shame for a whole giant of Africa and for us that we are also at the forefront of OPEC to state that it's only Nigeria out of all the other countries that are producing oil, crude, not to have a refinery that is working, where you can locally refine your own crude. This is so shameful. And that was why we find ourselves in this situation.
Okay.
So when the government have ever been, they have been very.
Okay, I want to ask you about how the government has responded to this recent demand by the NLC so far. Well, you guys have demanded.
How the government responded?
How has the government responded to this demand concerning the petrol price now? Because the NLC.
It's not only NLC that has demanded for the reversal.
I know, but when it comes to labor, well, the government wouldn't want a situation where we're seeing another strike or, protest. So
if the government is not responding, we will force the government to respond.
How do you intend to do that?
The situation has gotten itself and we are moving towards that. We will force the reversal.
So how do you intend
to force the prices of the pump price? Okay, now they have invited us to a National Executive Council meeting in Abuja. So every state council leaders, every union affiliated to NLC, 57 union, the leadership, all of us were going to mount our meeting in Abuja very soon.
When is that? Very soon.
In few days. So, and we are going to deliberate on the current situation of the economy, because the economy is affecting everybody badly. It's not only, mind you, it's not only the workers that this economy is affecting in a negative way. It's all Nigerians. But may God forgive some Nigerians. They have erroneous mindset against the labor, as if it's the labor that causes these woes. Anyway, they want us to take, the bull by the horn. But what we always say is that we also have different level in the labor.
But
we have different organs, and our organs must come together and take decisions.
But
before we are not just a pressure group that will come out at all times.
But
our own is that we have to deliberate, we have to look at, we have to reason, we have to scientifically prove our issues.
Now, Agnes, can you hear me? So, there have been a lot of concerns about some of the representative of the labor union. There are talks about transparency, that some of the leaders of the union are not transparent enough when it comes to negotiating with the government on behalf of Nigerians. What do you have to say about that?
Transparency, some labor leadership,
because
you
talked about.
I don't know. No, I'm not aware of those labor leadership.
No, let me explain. Let me expatiate. Now, you mentioned that some Nigerians are saying that the labor is not taking the bull by the horn, right? They are thinking that labor should push harder enough. Even some pensioners recently are saying that labor should go back to their old demand. But now, what do you have to say about some of the union heads accused of not being transparent enough when it comes to negotiations?
Well, from NLC angle, I don't know the labor leadership that is not transparent. I don't know. I am not aware of those. In NLC, everything is very transparent. Before our leaders will take decision, they will have to, consult the different organs. We have the NAC, we have the CWC, and we also have the NEC. And I'm sure it's the same thing in TUC. So Whatever you hear from Ajay Rosemouth is what you will hear from Osifo, who is the president of TUC. Osifo too is also saying it, that there should be a reversal to the price of the, it's the same thing that affects all of us. We live in the society together. We go to the same market. There is no difference from every one of us. So as it affects it also affects the whole body. So I don't know of any, well, human being can be human being. I don't know of any of the labor leadership that are not transparent. But you know that sometimes where it pinches you on the leg and you really want to fight for your rights, some people, they might say that you are working for opposition, you are this, you are that. That is why we are always very skeptical. And we don't take a pushful action. Nobody can push NSC. You cannot push us for an action that we are not convinced by ourselves that this is an action that we need to, be in and fight for. So that nobody will come out and be labeling us or come and be giving any kind of erroneous impression or information about us. That is why and people will look at it and say that, hey, NSC, we are dragging our feet. Is it all the time that we have to come out and light the nation? That is why we know that the situation was already bad before this government took over. But this government too, they need to put human face to whatever they are doing. It is not the people that causes the leadership crisis. And the people should not be the one that will suffer the consequences of bad leadership, successive administration that we've ever had in this country. So let no man, take up or faces the pain of the sin of another.
All right.
And that is why, for us, we know the situation. From the time of Emefiele, was it not NSC that came out and states that all the banks, they should start dishing out money? When you have your money and they close the bank, fought without giving you your money. It was NSC that fought for the people. And then they started giving us money in trickling situation. All right. So it's still the same NSC that But we are not quick to come out because we don't want the country to be in turmoil.
Okay.
But at times our leadership too, they need to listen to the voice of reasoning.
Okay.
People are hungry, they are hungry.
Yes, Agnes, are you with me now? So now that the NLC has come out as regards the price of petrol, do you see the government consider reversing the price now? Do you see the government acting on this? Do you foresee this anytime soon?
Well, I don't want to sound like as if I am drumming, I am beating the drum of war. But this one, the statement that I want to make, I want to use it to appease, if we can appease, if we can appeal, if we can anyhow that we have to, do it to them, that the words that we use for them to listen. The government will have to know the feelings of Nigerians. They have to see, the government should not disengage themselves totally from the people. They have already disengaged themselves from the people and they don't know what the people are feeling, the heat that the people are facing. There is so much of anger in the land because of hunger. And let me also tell you, frustration is setting for the people.
Said he's reforming.
So what I want to tell the government now is that the government should hearken to the voice of reasoning. And they should soften, they should subpedal. In my language, Ogu language, Ogu, that's Egun. But that we will say that they should soften the pedal. Because the level at which government is going.
Yeah, we're actually going to talk about the solutions. Now that's measures now that taken to mitigate the impact. Because you're saying that the government should listen to the people. Yes, so I remember now, I wanted to ask you something. But this, the President Bola Tinubu mentioned that he's a reformer and that, part of the issues going on are necessary. Including the deregulation you talked about, the fuel deregulation, and even in the finance sector, So what do you think about that? Do you think that we're not giving enough time to the administration, or you think that, it's been too slow?
Enough time for what? Please come again. Sorry.
And when it comes to taking the country to another level, the country is
transparent enough. Government is not transparent. If you are transparent, communication is very key and it's power. We have advised this government that the president, at least probably once every 3 months, because of maybe the enormous work he's doing. It's our economy and also on the infrastructural development. He should take it up. Nigerians will come out to show their displeasure and protest. No, we don't want that. Why do we have upper and lower chamber? We have all these chambers because we want an inclusion, government of inclusion. Most of those who we say that they are representing us at the upper chamber, lower chamber, they have disengaged themselves from their people. Okay, now you were voted to go and represent your people. Maybe you are from one rural place. Immediately you get into the position, you relocated your whole family, everybody, from the suffering of that rural place. You took them to an urban area so that you will not even know or remember all the pains of the past. Okay. How will you now know how to fight for those people that you claim that you are going there to go and represent?
All right, so let's
when you are now in luxury, it is for you to forget.
But now the former minister, the former minister of transportation, Agnes, is saying that it's affecting high-profile Nigerians as well, the situation, and he's calling for a protest. Actually, that's Rotimi Amechi.
He's calling for what?
He's saying that Nigerians should hit the streets to protest. That, the situation is affecting everyone, including high-profile Nigerians.
Well, the situation is affecting us because, even the successive administration, we should, when we are talking, we should be making reference to our leadership. They have failed us. This is a giant of Africa. If they have done the needful by ensuring the means of transportation should not only be heavily on cars on our road, and that is why most of our roads, the pressure on them, they don't make them to last, and even the corruption in the system where the roads are built purposely not to last because of corruption. Okay, let me tell us, most of the countries that don't really have pressure on the issue of transportation, they have several means of transporting their people on the rail, both the monorail, both the gauge, the double gauge, or the
I think Lagos has started the red line thing. Lagos is working on other means of transportation.
Yes, we know. That's why we appreciate this government. But you know that even Lagos State, we should have for years to have invested in all this rail. Is it now when everything, the economy is now so high and the prices of constructing this rail is so expensive now, that we are now rushing to do this? Well, for me, we appreciate this administration. They are really taking bold steps. And in fact, Mr. Sanwo-Olu should be doing much in bringing media publicity. He is just a silent achiever. So that's why many people does not even really see most of the things that they are doing.
So how do you think, what's the way forward now? Let's begin to talk about solution. What do you think
the way forward?
Yeah.
The federal government should ensure that they invest heavily in other means of transportation than the vehicles. If they invest heavily, but also investing heavily in other means of transportation. Now, they want to launch NRC, that's Nigerian Railway Company. They want to launch the gauge from Lagos to Kano, Kaduna. How safe are these other states? How safe are they? Even when you enter, you don't want to go on the road. That's why we've now been taking a flight.
Flight
to
is not
go
cheap.
From one place to the other. Now, when you go on the rail, are we safe? There was a situation when we heard that the rail from Abuja to Kaduna was taken over by terrorists. Let government ensure safety and protection of lives and properties of everywhere, from the northern state to the southern part, to the eastern part, to the western part of the country. Every state must be safe. And those of our leaders, they identify them. They know all those our leaders that are supporting evil, that are behind the terrorists, because of the mineral and solid mineral resources of Nigeria deposited in their area. That is why they are doing all these activities.
All right, let me call out the phone numbers just in case. Of course, we should have someone want to contribute to the conversation, because it affects all of us. The petrol price hike, the way forward, the demands of the NLC, and how you think the NLC can even achieve this, results for the demands. I don't know which other word to peg to that. But 0805 092 0927. That's 0805 092 0927. You can call the other number on 0705 890 4927. That's 0705 890 4927, or send a WhatsApp message to 0705 690 0927. So how about the CNG vehicles? What are your thoughts on it? Because this administration, the CNG cars and tricycles and, the initiative by this administration, do you think that the CNG will help to cushion this? The
CNG will not help. It will not help in the sense that, as you are saying that many people should go and convert their vehicles to CNG. There will be also the negative side of it. Converting already PMS made vehicle to CNG vehicle, it will also have its own effect on it. We have heard that it might not make the vehicle to last unless those vehicles, they are made purposely as CNG vehicles.
Okay, we have started. Yeah, Agnes, we have a call.
Okay. Okay,
yeah.
Thank you.
Hello. All right, we lost that call. Please try to call back. It's 0805 092 0927. That's the phone number. If you have any questions for the NLC spokesperson, by the way, on the line with us right now is Agnes Fumi Sesi, who is the NLC chairperson, Lagos State. We have another call. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning.
Good to have you. What's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm Emmanuel from Ikorodu.
All right, good to have you. What's your contribution or question? Oh, okay. So it was raining this morning, and most times we see that happen with the network. But keep trying, or you can send a WhatsApp message to 0705 690 0927. The phone line again is 0805 092 0927. Agnes Fumi Sesi took her time to come on the program to talk to us this morning. Now, you were talking about the way forward. You talked about the CNG. Some people are concerned about safety, that when it comes to anything gas, there might be issues of explosion. We've heard some experts talk about that. Agnes.
Yes, you know that we are starting on a clean note now.
Yeah, we have a call. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. All right,
Good morning.
Yeah, what's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Aikus. I'm calling from Aba.
From Aba.
I think the guy is saying enough to point. Yes, Aba in our local government.
Okay, all right.
Check when the party was there, he wanted to construct metro line in Lagos. And as soon as this metro line was constructed, I reduced a lot of things. So what is killing us in this country is just corruption. What we are meant to do about so many years back, you're doing it right now. It don't cost a lot of money in paying people. Go to our parents, see how much Lagos State government pays in the demolition of houses so that you can have a tourist road on our parents.
It's difficult to make out what you are saying, but yeah, it's so hard to hear you, but please try to reconnect with us. Now, Agnes, I want to ask you something. You've been talking about how this government is doing well in terms of, moves to help ease the situation. How about the issues with the ag bearers we have on the road collecting money? There's a situation of, I think that adds to the transportation cost as well. How well do you think the government is looking into that situation?
Well, our leaders, they are only pretending. They have traveled far and wide.
Okay, hello? Hello? All right, go on. I'll just hold on with the call.
Our leaders, that's the leadership in every state. They have traveled far and wide. They have gone to countries, even like countries that are very closer to us, like Ghana, like Togo. Is it the same thing that happens there that happens here? If there is any union, the unions must have an office where all the union members, you can go in there and transact your business, not on the road. So by taxing
of motorists, collecting money from motorists, because at the end of the day,
that is what I'm saying. Their union, if their union or their association or union must have an office where their businesses will be transacted, not on the road.
So has the NLC looked into, just trying to look at that direction as well?
And I'm also saying that our leaders, they have traveled far and wide. They know how they operate. transportation system in every other state. I mean, in every other country, I'm saying. So that is about the leadership. We cannot, as citizens, there is nothing we can do. It is the government that need not to pretend about everything, that needs to do
initially
the best.
you said the Lagos state government is doing well to help, reduce the suffering of workers. That's what you had said. So I'm asking that in the regard of this union, people collecting money from
where government performs well, I will not fail to mention it. And where they need to make a redress, I will also point it out. You understand? So that sums up all my own assertion. I've said it, where they are doing it well, we will not fail to come out and say that they are doing it well. But where they fail, and I'm saying it that government, they fail in that aspect, because that is not the best practices everywhere across the globe. Our leaders, they travel everywhere and they see the best practices. Why can't they also apply the best practice in our country? Yes. That is what happened. Even in some neighboring countries, everybody, if you are a union, you are association, yes, you are association, driver association, you are union, transportation union. Yes, you must have an office, you must have a known address where you transact your business.
So
let your members too, let them also transact their business in a way that it will not affect
Agnes,
every other person.
We'll soon wrap this up now. How do you think Nigerians now can go around this? How do you think the Lagosians can go around this? Are you saying they should go to the union offices to, how can it be done, really?
Are you telling me that the situation is only in Lagos State, or it affects only Lagosians?
It's more in Lagos. It's more in Lagos. In other states, you have issue of development fee. That's for people building houses. But then the taxing of motorists, by just fixing price, because some of these union members, they just dictate the price. And then people going to work, because it affects your workers as well. That's the workers that you guys are, are pressing for the minimum wage for. So how do you think Nigerians can go around this, Lagosians?
It's our leaders that we will appeal to. There is nothing Lagosians can do about it. It's the regulator of the system. Like the government, they have a commissioner for transport. They have different, section in the under transportation. They have agencies that regulate. So let all those agencies, let them apply the best practices. And some of our people that are operating in this level, the level of their understanding and education is very low. So there should be a high level of education that the government, and orientation. Government need to orientate these people. They need to educate them. They need to also expose them to the best practices that goes around in the world. And let me also state it that there should be no complicity from anyone in this regard. And our people should also help us, because there are some people that are also investing in this business. And those who are investing in the business, they also know that, and they are the ones that have the wherewithal to invest. Okay. But as they are investing, they too should not block the way for the government to implement best practices. Okay. Because some people in this country, they are above law, they are powerful people. And yet, all that they know is that they want to be capitalists, without putting consideration to other people. But as we have said it, that when everybody respects the law of the country, nobody does not behave that we're above the law. Okay. Every other person, from the very low person to the highest level person, they will also respect the law. It is like, do as I do, don't do as I say. Yeah. So if people are also doing as they say, our leaders are doing as they say, they don't flout the other, they don't, take one way, they don't block the chances of other, they don't want to eat more than the government, they don't take corners. Definitely, there will be regulation.
Yes, I appreciate
in that transportation system, and it will be to the advantage of
All right.
everybody.
Thank you so much, Agnes Fumi Sesi, for your time with us on the program. Thank you. You're doing an amazing job. We just hope that, some of these issues raised, the NLC can also push it across to the government, just to remind them whenever next you're having your meetings. Thank you.
Thank you very much for
All right,
having me
then.
this
Enjoy
morning.
the rest of your morning. The studio line is 0805 0920927 for you to be a part of the conversation. The way forward, really, look at the economic impacts of the petrol price hike. Yes. And so, how do you think we can move forward? How do you think Nigerians can cope with the current situation? We'll try to connect with our next guest now at this point, who is an entrepreneur and public affairs analyst. His name is Prince Adidakbo. Alternatively to 0705 690092. A crate of egg is set to be up to 10,000 naira soon. That's a shocker for Nigerians. And then the Poultry Association is tying that to the petrol price hike. And not to say that, I think last week we talked about people resigning from their jobs at this point. When it comes to grappling transportation costs, when you're working and your salary, everything is used to pay for transport, you haven't even talked about food, then that's the problem. So we'll try to connect with Adedakbo at this point on the program.
It's 92.7 and you're listening to Spotlight.
Join our amazing news team as they dissect trending topics in politics, health, education, business, and many more. Live every day at 7:30 to